of BVI Channel 1 Matters Arising. As you can see, we decided to take a fresh air and do things outside the studio. That is why we are in this beautiful environment. And with me, I have two gentlemen. These are faces that you know too well, and they are very important personalities when you talk about Biafra agitation for self-determination, although you might have known and seen them before. To my right here, you have my wonderful friend and big brother, Engineer Anthony Aniebu, the administrator of the customary government of indigenous people of Biafra. It's a pleasure to have you once again.
You are welcome this evening.
And to my left, I have a wonderful brother as well. He's a comrade, a Biafran from the core, and he's a financial guru and a financial expert. Some people will call it wizard, but I avoid that word in Jesus' name.
Amen.
So I have with him here at this program on Matters Arising. He is comrade Ndubisi Vincent Anienugu. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
All right. Today we are going to look into quickly an important issue. Why I decided to bring both of you out here, so that when we discuss this issue, our people out there will understand the direction things are going. Talking about independence agitation of the Biafran people and the political movement. How do you marry the two? I'll start with you. How do you bring the two together?
Yeah, thank you. It's very good you use the word independent agitation, because I know that some time ago what we had was a kind of outburst from some of our brothers and colleagues who said freedom fighting and freedom fighters do not engage in politics. And I had cause to disagree with them and actually to correct them, because in actual sense, Biafrans are not fighting for freedom now. We are agitating for freedom. And there's a great world of difference between agitation and fighting. If you're fighting something, it is different from agitating. You understand? So actually, agitating for Biafra and the Biafran struggle involves politics, because what it means is that you are using democratic process, peaceful process, legal process, diplomatic process to pursue your quest for freedom. What that means is that in every democratic concept, you must bring in politics. So we are not fighting any war. It is only when you go into fighting a war that you say you are a freedom fighter. So we are agitating for Biafra, we are campaigning for Biafra. We want to use the power of persuasion, the power of legality, the power of diplomacy to convince the people around us, convince the Nigerian government, that convince the world internationally that Biafrans want their freedom. So it is political. What that means is that we must take possession of our control of our land politically. We must be involved in political process. We must align ourselves with a political party that, because Nigerian system where we belong, run political democracy. What I mean by that, I mean we have multi-party democratic process in Nigeria. What we mean is that in all those multi-party, about 30 of them, we have the right to align ourselves with one who has a political view of what we are also discussing, what we were agitating for, and use it to press and put our people in the parliament. Because power belongs to the parliament. It is from the parliament that everything is shared. Even if we want to amend our constitution to reflect how it's going to be done, which is by self-determination through referendum, it is through the parliament that we must effect the change. And also in ordinary governance, the government houses in Biafra land have been taken over by Nigeria, and they have been ruling us the way they want. So we don't have people now who actually act like Biafran, talk like Biafran, behave like Biafran, and see themselves as Biafran in the government houses, in our representative capacity. So what the political process will do is that it will help us to put Biafrans in the government houses so that they will speak for Biafrans. So it is a political process, and unless you want the other way, which is war. If you want war, that's the difference. If you don't want war, you must be political.
Okay, what you say, as you are just saying something, I wanted to counter you when you said convince. I was like, I'm not comfortable with that word. But on the second thought, I had a rethink about that use of word convince, because I had a call yesterday from a guy who wants to know about why do you have to engage in politics, associating Biafra with politics. Then my response to him is that while we are on the street protesting, while Biafran people are being killed and we're showcasing it to the entire world, while the dust is being raised by the agitation of Biafran people, the world has seen them. Leaders of the world knows about it. But the problem there is that when some of these political leaders travel abroad, maybe to United Nations, to international conferences, and they meet with other world leaders, I mean politicians from our own area, from the Biafran places we call Biafran people, and they say, Mr. Governor, we heard from your state, your people are agitating for Biafra. What is your take on that? Then he will now come up and say, no, leave them, they are miscreants and troublemakers. They are being sponsored by political opponents. At that level, the whole thing dies off. The sympathy dies off. So that is the reason why I think it is necessary we put Biafran people in there to convince the world. That is where I now bought into your opinion. Yeah. Because I don't believe in that word before convincing. I believe that we need to coerce them. We need to condition them to believe in what we are doing.
What they are doing.
So I don't know what is your take on that.
I think I should take their own line of handling. That as far as we are concerned, you need your own people to be in government houses. Okay? Why I'm saying this is that people do not know that we have already restored Biafra. Go to any place. We are here talking about Biafra. This is Biafra land. This is our land. I am in the basin. This is my land. If I say that Biafra is my identity, nobody
can question that.
So why should I fight for anything? So when I see people saying they are fighting for Biafra, what are you fighting?
Who are you fighting?
You don't fight for Biafra. What are you fighting? What you do is to take it. Biafra is before you. And now the question is, how do you even take it?
Thank you. That's very important. Taking it, you don't just come up and say, I take Biafra, I declare Biafra here and there.
No, how do you take it? It's the big question everybody should be.
Can you tell us how, in your own perspective?
My dear, you take it by your voters card. That is the starting point. If you ask me how, every one of us here, we all have voters card. And the first thing is for you to still believe that we are in Nigeria. Because when I see some of these Biafran activists saying we are not Nigerians, Nigeria has expired, and we have no business to do with Nigeria, the first question I ask them, you live in Nigeria, which currency do you use? They say Naira. I say, if you don't believe in Nigeria now, please, that give me the money. Let me start spending it. Now, if you want to be out of Nigeria, is that voters card that you use? There's a process. And to me, the process is to, if you are saying majority of our people are in love with the word Biafra, you use your voting card to get all these people outside the power, get them out of the power. Like the governor, if I start from the governor and say, whoever that wants to go in there, I use my card. If I want our administrator to go there, what I will just do is to tell all these boys and youths out there that the administrator who be the governor of Anambra State doesn't need to give us money, but we use that our card.
And the population?
Of course, card goes with population, because you say we are all Biafrans and the Biafran people. I've heard you saying before now that about 90% of our people.
I say 99.
It's theoretical, because the only way to prove it is to use your card and get administrator into the government house. And if he's there, I mean, if Trump is talking, he will be vibrating from government house.
Okay, I think guys, there are things that I bought in from there.
What I think is, let me collaborate with him a little.
Okay.
What I think he's trying to say is that if we believe succinctly that here is Biafra, and from your own estimation that 90% of Biafrans want Biafra to stand, why not transform that number to political strength?
And be in control.
Because when you say take, yes, you need strength to take it. It is not strength in the form of physical strength, boxing and hitting and shooting and killing. But there is what is called political strength. And it is in the process of engaging in political activity that you will use your power of vote, which is that majority you have that says this is Biafra and we want Biafra. And we are interested in governing ourselves. That is what first of all, when independence and freedom start with self-governance, self-actualization, self-realization. And when you have gotten to that self-realization and self-actualization, you now move to self-governance. When you have not started governing yourself in your local government, by the people that live in yourself, in Biafra,
ideology of
and the ideology of Biafra. You have not gotten people who believe in Biafran ideology into the government house where you yourself have the power to control who gets it. And you are telling us that you are everywhere is Biafra. How can you prove it? You can only prove it by what we call the power of vote. Transform that the power of majority into political power. And a political power is by using political activity to put Mr. A or Mr. B into the government house, so that wherever he is, whatever he is saying, will be in consonance with your demands for freedom. So you must be able to participate in freedom and in political activity in order to put political leaders that will be representing you everywhere. Anything outside that is called for chaos and violence.
Okay, I think we are running out of time. We don't have all that time on this issue. But before we go, I just want to point out that we needed our people. People are still, skeptical about how it's going to play out. The system, is it going to be a business as usual? I don't think it's going to be a business as usual, because the Biafran people have to participate. Now, the Biafrans are not being used as stooges by politicians in this process. The Biafrans are the ones taking that move. It is a political movement or revolution. For instance, like you say, if I'm Igbo, what of Nnamdi Kanu? Somebody like him can never just sing Biafra if he becomes the governor of Abia State. You can imagine somebody like Uche Mefo. You can imagine somebody like Barrister Emeka Emekeshi. You can imagine somebody like Moses Migwe and the rest of Biafra agitation, even Wazirike. And Biafra people running around and say, we are going to take over all these government houses and use our phone to put Biafran people there. Do you think that the Biafrans will be killed on the street? It's impossible.
No, sorry, Chinedu, as far as I'm concerned, it's not all about talking. People say Biafra, Biafra, Biafra. It is all about saying you are a Biafran, and they will give you opportunity to go inside the government house. And when you get there now, that thing you are preaching, like pastors are preaching, some of them are just talking, but behind the scene they do things worse than some of us that are not too close to God. You understand? What I mean is that there are some people that are claiming that God or Jesus Christ is their senior brother. Some of us are claiming that we are good people, we are nice people. So what I'm saying by effect is that you have to go to that government house starting from now. Let's see how you experiment that Biafran ideology.
There.
Right now, we know and we have cases of the so-called Biafran leaders that are lost. If they want to enter a meeting, everybody will stand up. Hey, stand up. And if they are moving the street, they move even larger than Buhari moving. Their convoy is as long as the convoy that goes with Buhari right now. Now the question is, why are you fighting for freedom if you cannot be the servant of the people? So as far as I'm concerned, it's not all about saying we want Biafra, but to leave Biafra, let's see how people will see Biafra inside you. Okay. And the starting point is go start for your local government right now in Nigeria. Go to government house, go and tell people that this is how Biafra will look like if I should be the governor of Anambra State. So that when you now talk of Biafra, people will understand. But right now it's just theoretical.
So it will be practical. Like I always say, my grandmother Kukwaliyeku, the only English she understands is do. No, so I think I admonish the Biafran people listening and viewing all over the world. The first thing that we got to do now is to transform our desire
to
action.
By
Our
politically
passion
engaging.
to action. I heard what you said earlier in one meeting, that Hitler saw Corpus Christi in Germany and the way they move, and they concluded if human machine can be moved like this, they can be moved to take over the political power. If Biafran people in their numbers, the way we have seen recently on the streets, can move to take over the political landscape of Biafran land, no Biafran will be shot dead.
Good.
Even the situation of arresting Biafrans here and there will stop.
Again, some people will always tell you that they don't trust the electoral process. They say they don't trust the electoral process, that they believe that if we go into that INEC will not allow our vote to count.
How would they not allow our vote if we come out and defend it?
Good, and I tell them that the best way to prove it is to go out there and do the voting yourself. Stay there and monitor the election, observe what is happening. Stay there and see that the counting was done. Stay there and take the record and pursue your vote and your mandate to the last point. If you vote and run away, thieves will carry. In fact, if you keep your thing and run away, thieves will carry it, will take it. So what you need is get involved in this political process, then insist on allowing your vote to count. Don't run away. Don't say we have voted, let's go home. Stay there at what they normally call reasonable distance. When the counting period starts, come there and watch everything and make sure that nobody, that all the results, even inside the ward, the local government, make sure you are part of it. Don't allow thieves to steal your thing. That is just my advice.
I think that is where we're going to draw the line on this issue, and we leave the rest for you out there, the viewers. We need you to drop your comments. Let's know your opinion about this as we continue in subsequent videos and updates on this issue of Biafra and politics. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you this evening.
Thank you, my brother.
It's a pleasure to have you this evening.
Thank you.
And to you, don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us in all our social media platforms. Get involved and stay connected to BVI Channel 1. I still remain as Lieutenant Peters, and I love you to the bones.